I hope you're ready for another fast, easy, and healthy plant-based recipe because we're gonna show you the simplest mushroom kidney bean curry. You can make this thing in less than 20 minutes, any day of the week, for lunch, dinner, you name it. Here we go. Hey everybody, this is Dylan.
And Reeves.
Reeves and I love the simplest plant-based recipes, ones where you don't have to think ahead at all, using all ingredients that you've already got in your pantry, in your fridge, whatever, because they're on your everyday shopping list. We aren't really big on setting aside a day where we do like all kinds of batch prep for recipes. We like to just come into the kitchen, open the pantry door, look at our list of go-to recipes, and get started on one right away. This is a perfect recipe for that. You can have this thing ready in like 10 to 20 minutes. We'll talk about some little tips and tricks so you can cut corners and make this even faster. Let's get right to it, Reeves. Come on in here. We got a little bit of chopping to do, but you don't have to. I want to show you a hack because in these curries, people love to use coconut milk. Coconut is very high in saturated fat, and that is a lot. That is a big punch of fat if you drink even the reduced fat coconut milk. We can use a little bit of coconut shreds and cut down on the coconuttiness of the coconut milk and make our own with simply soy milk in the blender and some coconut shreds. Not too much, way less. So there'll still be some saturated fat from the coconut, but way less. Other people I've heard of like to use like coconut extract, which just has a coconut flavor added to the soy milk. So this is kind of the middle between coconut milk and the extract version. We're using whole shreds of coconut blended up with soy milk so that we've cut down some of that saturated fat, and we're just gonna set it aside.
Now you have all the flavor of coconut, less fat.
Rinse your blender right away. Don't let it dry and get crusty and nasty. You don't want that life. We got a little bit of chopping to do. By the way, when you're making these recipes, it is really handy setting it up just like we do in our cooking video, where we get all the stuff out. Reeves has these little ramekins of spices. Of course, you don't have to have them all individual. You could just like prep that, get the beans out, rinse them, set it on the side, make the soy milk, coconut milk thing, set that aside. Then we just gotta do some chopping and you can whip it up really fast, and then your dishes are really fast and easy to clean too. Consider trying it out this way. Let's get to the chopping. I'm gonna chop one yellow onion. I've got my cold pan. Don't worry, it's not preheated. The chefs aren't watching, okay? It's just us here. This is private time. Cutting corners, I said I was gonna tell you some opportunities to cut corners. If you want, you can completely skip on chopping a fresh onion. You can use a bag of frozen chopped yellow onion. We use it a lot lately. I love chopping, but sometimes you're in a hurry and you just wanna make your meal. We're gonna chop. I'm just gonna chop an onion, dice it up. I can do that pretty fast. The more you do it, the faster it is to do it. In my opinion, you should get at least pretty good at using a knife. You should also try not to cry so much with the onions. Oh, it got me. People are like, why don't you ever cry? I do. They might cut it out of the video, I don't know. Next, I've got half a ocean of tears.
Half an ocean of tears.
Why did that one hit so hard?
Have you considered like welding goggles?
Next up, we're gonna chop up a half a pound of mushrooms. I'll be honest, yes, you can buy chopped frozen mushrooms, but the texture for me is not as good. You can make it work and you'll get your food in and you'll have eaten a healthy meal and it will still taste good, but I do prefer the fresh mushrooms. Cut them all in half and lay them face down, and that's kind of how I prep my mushrooms, okay? So now you can just do one motion at a time. Finish one act before you do the other, you know what I mean? Put on both socks before you do the shoes. That's all we're doing here, folks. Okay, now what am I gonna do? I'm gonna throw it right in the pot with these cold onions.
No, you gotta saute the onions for a couple minutes until they're translucent before you put the mushrooms in.
Do you? Do you? We're gonna be fine.
Oh gosh, but you can't put the garlic and the ginger in at the same time. No, the whole kitchen will explode. Oh God, oh no.
We're gonna chop up some ginger. We got a few cloves of garlic. Chop it up. You can use the cheater garlic, but I thought, hey, I'm using the fresh ginger. If you really don't wanna chop anything, you could use just dried ginger instead of the fresh stuff. But oh, the fresh stuff is so good. It's one of those things where the extra effort actually gives you the extra flavor. It's minced up pretty nice and small. Now we can go to the stove and we can get crack-a-lackin'. Do people still say that? Feel embarrassed. Oh, here we go. I forgot to chop up a jalapeno. That is optional if you want a little kick. I love it. Of course, you could just not use a jalapeno and you could use crushed red pepper. But for these kind of curries, I just love a little bit of fresh jalapeno. So let's go back and chop.
Good job remembering that jalapeno, Dill. At least you remained calm about it.
You are a punny one, Reeb. New shirts for sale now. If you didn't get enough of the puns you've seen from us before, you got more coming. I'm dry sauteing. I'm gonna add a little bit of water. Sizzle, sizzle. You could use veggie stock too, whatever. We just wanna keep it from sticking. No oil is needed, just keep it clean. We don't need all the processed junk. Let's just eat real whole food ingredients. And all we're gonna give this is like, 3 to 5 minutes until everything kind of softens. Add water as you need it. Now I only added the water that first time. You can see that the mushrooms give off a lot of juice. So when you're doing mushrooms like this, you aren't gonna have to add very much liquid during this saute step until maybe you add the seasonings, which I think it's time for. It's just been a few minutes. We're adding some garam masala, some cumin, some coriander. You could just add curry powder. You could even make this Italian one night. You can make it Mexican style one night. Whatever flavor you're into and you love.
Are you trying to say the sky's the limit?
Sky is the limit. Now you can see that adding the spices kind of dried this out a little bit. So I'll just add a little bit more liquid. And now we'll just let our spices cook for a second. Cooking the spices like this will bring out a lot of flavor, but like I said, you could have added this all to one pot with the liquid, the soy milk, we blended everything together, and you could just let it simmer if you really want to cut corners. Last step, I've got 1 can of diced tomatoes. You could use tomato sauce, you could use crushed tomatoes, whatever you prefer, whatever you have in the pantry. We use a lot of diced tomatoes. Try to find the no salt, because the salty ones are salty. Here is our coconut milk that we blended up at the beginning. Throw that in. And then we've got 1 can of kidney beans. This is a mushroom kidney bean curry after all. I just rinsed and drained. I didn't bother mashing them or anything like that. Just throw them in. And now we've got all kinds of starches, veggies. We got a little richness from that milk. This thing is looking beautiful. And now it's just a matter of how thick do you want it? How liquidy do you want it? You can adjust with some veggie stock. You can let it simmer here and dry out a little bit, and then it'll become thicker. It's whatever you prefer.
Dylan, what if you wanted to make a mushroom black bean curry or a mushroom garbanzo bean curry?
Bring it. Oh, I love the chana version. Black beans would work too. Pinto beans, any bean, anything you actually like. Lentils. Lentils would be great in here.
Cooked potatoes?
Cooked potatoes would be great in here too. I love where your head's at there, Reeves. But look how beautiful this sauce is. It's great. I do like to add one little secret ingredient when I'm working with tomatoey sauces, and that's a little bit of date powder. Just like, ooh boy, just like a teaspoon or so, okay? That's about a teaspoon. But I find that it just cuts the acidity of the tomatoes just a little bit and gives it a nice little sweetness. It's a perfect little ingredient for making homemade sauces and stuff like that.
Dylan, do you have some fancy rice cooker rice you're making this evening?
No. This frozen bagged rice that you can get at Trader Joe's, Whole Foods, Sprouts usually, is awesome. You just take it, throw it in the microwave, boom, close that thing, turn it on for 3 minutes, and you've got steamed rice. I love it. It's so fast and handy because brown rice takes a bit of time if you're cooking it from scratch. It takes almost an hour. Okay, one thing I love to do for this recipe is to get my greens. I don't eat a lot of plain old salad, but I do eat a lot of greens. And I usually do it in my cooked meals, like my one-pot meals. These clamshells are my favorite thing. It's as simple as this. You take a big handful, throw it in the sauce, and now you've got all your greens. We're gonna stir it around. So you might need to turn it up a little bit of heat just to keep this boiling so we can wilt our spinach. And I'll do that a couple times, a couple handfuls, because spinach really shrinks down and you barely know it's there.
It looks so good.
You think the folks can do this in like 15 minutes?
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely. And don't be afraid to make a double or a triple batch. If you know you like a dish and you're gonna go to the trouble of making it fast and easy, you might as well make twice as much so that you can eat it for tomorrow's lunch or the next couple of meals. I'm gonna kill the heat, and one little thing, just the cherry on top, might as well call it the lime on top because that's what it is. Squeeze on a lime, and this is just gonna give it that nice little limey flavor. The rice is ready. And now we're done, okay? Just stir in the lime. I like to do the lime at the very end because after the lime's in, when you cook it, the lime flavor kind of diminishes. Let's eat this thing. You ready, Reeves?
I could not find that microwave for like the first 3 weeks I lived here.
It's a drawer. Boom, rice. So we'd probably make a couple of these for us for a meal.
You know, some people live in places where they can't find things like frozen onions and frozen rice, but they can batch them ahead of time themselves.
Yes, you can. Chop a few onions and then freeze them in like 1 onion size Ziplocs. Same with the rice. That's a great idea. You could do it with any starch, lentils. Don't hold back. Oh, this is looking beautiful. I like the chunky tomatoes. If you like it saucy, go with the sauce. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I love the lime on top. That is so nice. That is hot. Oh boy. This is like comfort food, man. This is a perfect meal. This one is going on the door. Now that we printed it out again, I'm putting it on the door.
I'm just wafting in the aroma of all of those spices and the coconut and the lime.
Okay, you needed to take more time, Reeves. Reeves, you needed to take more time.
No.
I feel responsible. Do you want to put a couple ice cubes in like you do for Luca? Too soon?
That is a treat for the taste buds. I love making Indian flavored dishes at home because I feel when you get Indian out, all the spices are masked by the oil and you can't really taste it, but you get every piece of flavor in that bite. The fresh ginger, the fresh garlic, it's like there. It's so delicious.
I'm really glad you like it.
Great dish.
Great dish. Don't miss our super simple mushroom kidney bean curry. The recipe is down below in the description box, and you can make any of those lovely modifications we talked about. Check out more super simple recipes like this. It'll keep you on your plant-based diet for life. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one. Bye.